Hi world, welcome to this video. This is TinaHits.com, and today I am discussing a very special subject, and this is all about your Saturn return. So if you are like 29.5, 28, 30 years of age, and suddenly you face a shitstorm and you don't know what happened, let's apply the hashtag adulting, and suddenly you find yourself in a new awareness, in a new understanding about the world around you, and you can finally see what you have learned all these 29 years and how you've applied it. Saturn return is like a reality check. It says hello there, you've been sleeping for 29 years, and now it's time to wake up and smell the roses. And why is that? It's because Saturn is the karma bearer. Saturn, if you understand the basic symbology of Saturn, in Jungian terminology, Saturn refers to the wise old man, or the guide within us. In all systems, Saturn is looked upon as a guide, cruel but necessary guide. As you grow older and you've had your Saturn return at 29, 30, then you get to 40s, then you start seeing that Saturn is not really the great malefic as everybody puts it out there. Saturn's just got a lot of bad press. And why? It's because Saturn is not cruel. Saturn is your karma. If you understand that you are now at Karma Cafe and what is being served to you is exactly what you deserve, that's when you realize that, okay, hashtag adulting. It's time to step into the next growth period. It's time to now take authorship of what's happened in my life. Saturn is all about boundaries. If you understand the rings around Saturn, they symbolize a boundary. Also, Saturn is in the in the physical body, human body. Saturn rules everything that holds it together: the skeletal structure, the hair, the nails, the bones. So, what do these things do? They give us form. So Saturn's domain is this 3D world, and Saturn is humanity's first guardian to awaken you through, I won't say punishments, because Saturn is not punishing you. You reap what you sow. This is Karma Cafe, and what is being served to you is exactly what you deserve, is exactly what you ordered through your karma in this world. So you cannot escape Saturn, and I mean, nobody can escape Saturn. So very interesting thing about a myth in Vedic astrology. Saturn is, of course, the great malefic also in Vedic astrology, but is very auspicious. Is one of the Navagrahas, or the 9 planets. Okay, and Saturn is appeased with mustard oil, and if you light diyas of mustard oil, or if you wear black on a Saturday, and if you utter the Bij mantra, which is Sham, of Shani. So one thing interesting that pops up right now in my mind is that Shani's mother, or Saturn's mother, was known as Chaya, which means shadow, and Shani's father was the sun. So as soon as Shani was born, Saturn, the sun went into an eclipse. So what do you think this symbolizes? This means that just as he's born, he starts to have an issue or a complication with his father figure, his father, the sun. So this tells us that Saturn definitely rules our father figure, like the sun also does. But Saturn tells us the complications we will have, okay, depending on the house and the sign. If we have complications with our father or not, and how do we resolve it? What What is the best way for us to go forward and resolve this? Okay, this is what Saturn teaches us. So, if you work in harmony with the gifts you've been given and really toil, because Saturn teaches us one thing, that's endurance and hard work. Oh, I forgot about Chaya. So, she was shadow and the sun was eclipsed. Okay, so he had this complicated relationship with his father. The point is that being born of shadow and light, the sun is the most glorious object in the universe. That means Saturn is inherently dualistic, is comprised of shadow and of light, which is why we feel his energy to be cruel. Is because there is, of course, a shadow to Saturn, because everything in this manifested world is dualistic. Now, when your Saturn return happens, you may see a change in the way you take responsibility, in the way you toil in the world, the kind of action you put forward. Maybe you suddenly grow up. Maybe something happens, and oftentimes it's tragic. Some kind of tragedy strikes you when you turn 29, 28, maybe 30, and then you're suddenly like given this huge reality check, and most of us don't know what to do with it, because we've been, and everybody doesn't know astrology, and even if you know astrology, there's really nothing that can prepare you for your Saturn return. Okay, you may study the houses, you have the house, you may study the placements, you may study the sign, but your Saturn return is going to be that one special moment that nothing can prepare you for, and it's an extended period of over 2.5 years, that you learn and you assimilate and you integrate all that stuff that you face as you're going, as the soul is going through the solar system. The Logos is exploring, going out from Mercury, learning communication, going to Venus, learning about love, beauty, harmony, moving on to Mars, learning about action, moving on to the asteroids where fragmentation of the soul happens, moving on to Jupiter, the great benefit, which gives us the necessary boons and the higher philosophies. Then moving on to Saturn, because with Jupiter we've expanded. Jupiter cycles at 12 years. So when you're 24, you've had your second Jupiter return, and you're like, either going, you're becoming too over the top, or you're understanding responsibility, preparing, gearing up for your Saturn return. And this is the time, every Saturn return, every 29.5 years, uh, is a period when the universe gives you a chance to step up and claim authorship, because there's really nothing that you can do to avoid this. There's no way you can run, or nothing that you can do to avoid your Saturn return. And the second time round, when you're about 60 and you have your second Saturn return, it's like you give back to the community. First time round, you give back to the world everything you've learned. If you've been selfish, if you've been hedonistic, if you've been avaricious, everything's gonna come back to you. Okay, that is the law of Saturn. You can't uh, escape it. Saturn is also how we use our time. Saturn in Sanskrit is known as Kala, or time. Okay, and his brother is Yama, or the god of death. So thereby, even in Western myths, we see this association of Saturn with the Grim Reaper. Saturn comes to claim your soul, okay, in a way, and to awaken you to all the possibilities that you have and the hard work that you can do. Because Saturn is all about perseverance, diligence, dedication, one step at a time. If you look at the sign it rules, it's Capricorn. And Capricorn is the sea goat, the mountain goat, the sea goat, and the unicorn, the three archetypes of Capricorn. So the goat is steadily climbing and climbing and climbing. Okay, every day, every step taken is towards your greater good is what pleases Saturn and prepares you for your Saturn return. And this is a video that I'm making because I have loads and loads of people that want to know what to expect during their Saturn return. And all I can tell them is if you have any understanding of your karma, of what you've been doing all these 29 years, how you've been utilizing your time, how you've been giving back to all the structures that Saturn has created. Are you have you turned out to be his greatest ally? Because by the time you hit 40 and 45, you are sort of understanding now that okay, Saturn is not such a great malefic after all. He is probably the greatest blessing and our guide. As I said, in the Jungian understanding, Saturn stands for the wise old man. All the senior population is a representation of Saturn. So go out there, connect with a Saturnian figure, can help dogs, black dogs. In the Vedic myth, Saturn loves black dogs and crows. So feed some crows, feed some black dogs, and try to understand you reap what you sow. So think about this and think about what you've sown, and you will be able to piece together the story of your Saturn return. Let me know in the comments below. Are you expecting your Saturn return? Have you already had your Saturn return? Or are you going to have your second Saturn return? And what did that mean for you? Alright? Subscribe, please, like, comment, share, and let me know what you think and be honest. This is Tina from Tina Hills. Take care.